That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to talk about Sanctuary.
You keep looking at me.
The
No one can see it.
Sanctuary, the sophomore film directed by Zachary Wigon, which premiered at the 2022 Toronto International Film Festival and is being released courtesy of Neon on May 19th, 2023.
Do you know Zachary's first film?
The Heart Machine? No, I did not see that, though it did sound interesting. It's from 2014.
So this movie, the story, the heir to a hotel empire and the dominatrix who has primed him for success battle it out in a hotel room as he tries to end their relationship. This shit sounds crazy. But you liked this movie.
It felt a little crazy and chaotic, and there were times where I felt I didn't like this movie, and by the final frames, I thought, I'm into this.
There are only two characters, Christopher Abbott and Margaret Qualley.
Playing Hal and Rebecca. I think we're in Denver. That's the only city that gets any mention, but I think as you'll find as you watch it that not all is what it seems, and who's lying and who's playing games is, of course, a constant underlining of the film.
The basic story is simple. So Christopher Abbott is like a trust fund baby, and he's in this hotel having a session with the dominatrix played by Margaret Qualley, and it's clear that they've been doing this for a minute.
Not at first, though.
No, but they have a relationship in this manner. And when their session's done, he gives her a gift, and he says, well, you know, I can't continue to do this because I'm about to take control of my dad's company, and it's not a good look for me to be seeing a dominatrix. And she gets mad. Like,
he tries to give her she calls it a retirement gift, a $32,000 watch.
And she's like, boy, I made you who you are today. When I first met you, you couldn't ask for a thing. And then I built you up to the person who your dad would entrust with his company. So I want half of whatever you're making.
She wants half of his first year's salary.
Which totals like $2 million.
Actually, I think the total is like $4 million. Plus, because it includes bonuses.
So, of course, he's like, absolutely not. And then the bulk of the film is them going back and forth because he's afraid that she's going to blackmail him because she threatens to.
She says that she's been recording them with a camera.
Things get a little violent. They end up having sex. He ejaculates in her. So now she's talking about, well, now I'm pregnant. He gets violent with her again. Then she sort of professes like real feelings for him, saying that like once she started seeing him, she stopped seeing other clients because she felt like they had something, and she confides in him that the only time she ever really felt special was doing this because in the outside world she's not in control of anything. So the resolve is, he's like, well, I have a bunch of money, like damn near $200 million my dad left me. I can just buy the company, and then I'm going to make you in charge of it.
Yeah, buy out the board.
And she's like, what are you going to do? And he's like, well, I can just stay home and be your slave. So a similar dynamic to what they do in the bedroom.
And she goes, what are you going to tell your mom? And the final scene as the elevator, we keep waiting for them to get out of this elevator. And he's like, I'm going to tell her that I'm giving the company to you and to Rebecca, and I love her. And then they kiss.
The end. Yeah, I mean...
It's a very strange romance, it turns out.
And it's funny.
It's fun. You know, I was very cool about Margaret Qualley from the get-go, you know, because she's...
Where do I know her from?
Annie MacDowell's daughter. We reviewed Stars at Noon from Claire Denis.
Is that where they're in, like, Argentina?
Nicaragua.
Oh, Nicaragua, I'm sorry.
And that film is, I think, where I first started having a respect for her as a performer, because she always has had this, like, madness in her eyes, like, similar to Isabella Gianni, which I know I've said before, but she is good at playing kind of over the top and hellbent, and I was pretty into it, even when this film, you know, because it is just two people, does inevitably have some lulls, but I think the director and the screenwriter, Micah Bloomberg, who wrote Homecoming, does a good job of navigating that, so it doesn't just feel like a film's two-hander. Rebecca is initially wearing this blonde wig that I hated. I thought she looked like Herbie the Misfit Elf in it.
Oh.
And I just hated it. And then I'm like, oh.
Would she go on my worst hair list?
But it's on purpose because she's
Okay.
playing a role. You know, this isn't.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yes. And so, because she takes it off after this session, and she, you know, she has that beautiful long brunette hair like her mother, and then she has this great moment where Christopher Abbott is starting to decimate the apartment, and he she puts on this music, and it's Bonnie Pointer's "Heaven Must Have Sent You,"
Oh.
which I really enjoy. I highly enjoy that song. So I've been listening to that all day, actually, since I've seen it. But I liked how it looked. It makes a good job of navigating the space. It was shot by Ludovica Isidori, who was the cinematographer on Test Pattern, which is a pretty difficult but interesting sexual assault film from 2019. The composer is Ariel Marks, who was the composer on Shiva Baby, also a film I really liked. I don't know. It's interesting. I like Christopher Abbott a lot too, but
Do we see him nude?
no, he seems shirtless, but and I like him. Black Bear was on my top 10 of the year whenever that came out, and I did like Possessor. We just saw him in On the Count of Three recently with Gerard Carmichael. This is interesting. I think this would make a good double feature with Nicholas Pesch's Piercing from several years ago, the Murakami adaptation, because it's about a very violent man that's meeting a prostitute in a hotel room, Mia Wasikowska, with a much different vibe. And I don't love Piercing. I like what it's attempting to do, but I don't know. This won me over.
When does it come out?
I was not expecting. May 19th.
Oh, okay. So not a Mother's Day movie.
It is not. No, the week after.
What would you give this film?
3.5.
Anything else?
No.
Hit the thanks button, listen to our podcast. Bye.